Yo, what's good, Youth Society? Hey, we are beyond excited. We're here with some of our team, and we're gonna be getting in it today, having a good conversation, and hopefully, that you get something special out of this. And this is our first video of our YouTube series that we're bringing back, and so we're excited. We're stepping into a new series called what?
Press.
Called what?
Press.
Come on, it's all about press. And you may be like, what are you talking about? We pressing people? Like, nah, don't worry. That's a different lesson. But we're excited because really in this press season, in this series, we want to talk about depression, anxiety, and all these different pressures that we may be feeling in our life, whether if it's external or internal. And we hope that this is something that could bless your life and just give you an encouragement and some wisdom to keep going forward. But man, my name is Ray. I want everyone to just kind of introduce themselves. And how about this? You guys will give us a random food you like to eat. And you're gonna give me a random food you like to eat, and then one random maybe thing about you. Okay, I'll start, to break that ice. My name's Ray. A random food that I like to eat, I wanna say, I like mussels. Like oysters, like mussels,
really?
I like those. I know it's weird, like a lot of people don't.
Chewy.
They're weird, I know. I can't eat them like a bunch, but just a little bit. Bit. And random fact, I split my chin open when I was a kid. From riding my bike and landing on a rock, and it was pretty bad, but yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Bet your mom loved that.
Yeah.
Random food I like. So when I was a kid, I didn't like peanut butter. So my mom used to hate it because, an alternative to like peanut butter and jelly. So she actually used to put butter in jelly. And everybody used to think that was so gross, but I was like, have you ever had toast with butter and jelly? It's basically the same thing. So it was butter and jelly sandwiches. And the random thing about me, or something you may not know, is I was a cheerleader in high school, and I did it all 4 years, and I actually went to nationals in Florida for that. So that was pretty dope.
Nice. Well, my name is Serena. One food that I like, this might be a little controversial, but I do like pickles. So if you don't like pickles, I will eat your pickles. I love pickles. And then something you guys may not know me is
like out of the jar, like straight up. Do you drink the juice and everything?
Oh, I like
You
it.
like drink the juice.
People
I
love
don't
the pickle
think
juice.
you-
Okay.
I'll just-
All right. We gotta get
I
down.
can do pickle juice. Are we having a problem?
We gotta make sure.
I'm just being
She eats it.
Yeah. And then something you guys may not know about me is in high school, I actually got 3 basketball scholarships, but I gave it all up. Yeah.
All in, not anymore.
Take it back.
Okay, hi, my name is Katie. One weird food, I don't know. I really like fish. Just like fish in general, I don't know.
Yes.
It's good. Something you may not know about me, I have 2 cats, but I'm allergic. So really just
Finish it.
I can't really breathe.
You may kill me, but I love you anyway.
Okay. What's up, y'all? Y'all know me. Some of you do, some of you don't. But it's Jeff, Pastor Jeff here. One food that you may not know that I like. Weird food. While y'all was talking outside there, I was like, all my stuff was like kind of normal, I guess. Like, what would you say, babe? I don't know. Like,
I don't know either.
I guess you would say like if you've never had gumbo, some people like it, some people don't.
True.
So gumbo is fire to me. And a lot of I know a lot of people don't like gumbo because it's a bunch of stuff in one pot. So like people see it, they don't really vibe it.
Yeah.
I do, I smell it, and I'm like, yes, Lord. So like, like that's my thing. One random thing that most people don't know about me. I played on the same soccer team that Landon Donovan played on. When I got Landon Donovan, if you guys don't know, he would be considered the best or the greatest U.S. soccer player of all time. So like I was on the same team. I met him like 2 or 3 times, and then right when I got on the team, I played 1 game, and then he got drafted into the MLS, the Professional Soccer League. So yeah.
Okay. My name's Guy. I don't really eat like weird foods. I think like a food that I really, really love is like some like good like orange chicken from like Canada. No? Okay.
I thought you were gonna say Cane's.
Oh, Canes. No, Canes every day. Canes every day. Yeah.
An addiction. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's my addiction. Honestly though, if not like some good like orange chicken from Panda, definitely Canes. Like I will make that drive
Yes,
every night.
yeah.
to go to Cane's.
Bad.
Yeah, if you don't know a lot about me, I would drive to Cane's like every night. I'm crazy. But something that I don't know, something you may not know. Oh, when I was young, maybe like about 6, 7 years old, I got lost in Disneyland. I got lost in Disneyland. It was like around 4, and they were like the whole park was literally looking at me until like they closed. Yeah, so it was crazy. They found me.
Where were you?
And I know I was like all the way in the back, like where the concession stands are. But I was just sitting there the whole time because I was scared because I didn't know where no one was. So I kept on seeing like everybody leave. Like everybody was leaving, and it started to get dark, and I was getting all scared. And then finally, like it was a while. But I never told somebody like, hey, like I'm lost. Yeah, I never told anybody that. And then finally, like one of like the park like officers or whatever like that, they were just like, "Are you Guy?" And I was just like, "Yeah, oh, yeah." And they were just like, "Your parents are looking for you," and I was just like, "Okay." I don't know with them, but yeah, that was crazy. That was pretty scary.
Yeah, that made my chest get tight.
Quick question for you guys. All right, I have to ask you. It's the time, you know. Dave's Hot Chicken or Cane's?
Cane's. Dave's Hot Chicken's trash.
Never had Dave's
I haven't had it yet.
Dave's Hot Chicken is trash.
So y'all say Cane's for now then?
Yeah.
For now.
But from what P. Drew said, he said that Dave's Hot Chicken, and there's this place at our South Bay campus. It's called,
Shout out to South Bay.
Bay. It's called Tennessee's Hot Chicken, and they have fire chicken.
Their
It's
chicken
like-
is legit.
So I don't know. Like, I have to try Dave's and give you an update on that. So maybe on the next one.
I love that you said that. You know, it's interesting. I think we can talk about like food, you know, in general. I think it brings up this idea of like external pressure. I don't know about you guys. You ever had that homie that tells you like, yo, I gotta put you on, you know? And they tell you to hype up this food and you taste and you're like, this ain't good.
Right.
Like, this ain't it. Like, you know? And
That's
so
not it.
I think about this whole idea of Dave's Hot, like when it came out here to the Valley at least, and I know it's in South Bay as well. Some people had it, some people haven't. And Dave's Hot, everyone's like, oh, they're on, yo, clout, yo, Dave's Hot is fire, this and that. And some people were eating it and were just shook, like, nah, Cane's. And so I'm just curious, I know about you guys. You guys ever felt like you battled like maybe some external pressures?
Yeah, like I would definitely say like on my end, especially being the central youth pastor, you have like those external pressures of like you have to start now, you have to do this today, you have to create this now, and so and sometimes it's like it's almost like the unspoken type pressure, you know what I mean? Like you have our senior pastor who's just a beast and just a crazy visionary, and so you're like, man, I want to make sure that like the way he entrusted me that I can help create this vision that he has on his heart. And so I would say on my end, like that's a huge pressure because I'm very ambitious, and sometimes my ambition can be a lot faster than what's actually in front of me sometimes. So I'll definitely say like that's a huge external pressure. Being a husband, being a father, like that's an external pressure. Like I gotta make sure that it's not my job to make her happy, but it's my job to make sure that like she has all of her needs, and it's my job to water her with the word, you know what I mean? So, you know, being a good father, being there for them emotionally, spiritually, physically, letting them know like this is what a healthy father looks like. So, you know, I would definitely say for sure, like I feel extreme pressure.
Katie, with you being like in come on, bring up Katie. I don't know if put you on the spot.
It's like,
no. I know you're the youngest of the group, so I'm just curious. And what grade are you on? So maybe people that don't know yet.
Yeah, isn't I the youngest or?
No, it is.
You're like a whole half year older than me.
hey,
There we go.
6 months.
So if people don't know, what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
So you're a senior. Okay, so you're still in high school, right?
Yeah.
And so for you, what would you say maybe are some of the biggest external pressures for you? Like right now, good or bad? Like just kind of what are some of those external pressures? Anything.
Some external pressures. Honestly, like, let me think. Are we allowed to talk like drugs and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, like, I don't know, just like the pressure, like everybody around you, especially in high school, we're getting to that age where it's everyone's, you know, do their own
experiments.
thing.
Yeah.
Compared to like middle school, it's like such a different environment. So like you see the pressures to like be cool and fit in, but I know that like the plans that God had for me are so much greater than just a moment of like satisfaction or to be cool. So those are like some pressures that I still face, like I still struggle with, but you know.
100. I think those are things that I think it's more the battle of it being such a normal thing, and I think that's what like the external pressures feel like. And I think for many people, they get so used to having those external pressures that becomes normal.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the scary part. Like if you want to say like probably in that
Because
experience.
everybody around us is doing it, and I don't do it, you know. But it's such a normal thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 100. Serena, how about you? You know, put you on blast. What's good?
I think I would definitely say, like, especially like being the oldest, like there's so much pressure in that, and like having like my sisters or like even my brother
you.
like watching every move I make, and especially like because I graduated college, like I'm first gen, it's always like that pressure, like you get your degree, like go to school, get good grades, and like even like in extracurricular activities and stuff like that. But like especially in college, it's like, okay, get a job now that you graduated, like get your like what career are you gonna like use your degree in, and like you have to get a good job and like all this stuff. So it's just like definitely like even being in that routine, like once I graduated, I'm like, what's my life now? Like I had my life planned, but like now that it's like done, I wouldn't say like done, but like it's like my college is over, like it's like, okay, like what's next? And I mean like I do have a job and stuff, but like it's just like, I don't know, it's just like crazy, like that pressure of like being fulfilled, and like is it actually like fulfilled?
Yeah.
But yeah,
For sure.
Absolutely.
That's really big. That's really big. And Guy, I know about you. You just graduated. Let's go. Recently. Well, no, you're still in school, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Guy, if y'all know, Guy hangs out with like a lot of us, so it's like I always think he's like 16, 19, like where is he all in there? So for you, I know Serena just really touched on like what that feeling is to be pulled into a direction of like what you're gonna do next. What for you feel like? Do you feel like you get a lot more pressure? Is it from family, or is it from friends, or maybe peers, or like what are some pressure for you about maybe the next direction in your life?
Yeah, I think right now, even like right now, since I'm subbing for my senior year and basically like finishing high school and stuff like that, I think some of the pressures that come with that is like mostly everybody knows what they're gonna do after high school. Like everybody knows. Like everybody knows what college they're gonna go to. Everybody knows like what they're going to like study, and like everybody knows what they're doing as soon as like the day after they graduate. And for me, I wouldn't say that I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have a little sense of what I am doing, but I think some of the pressure that kind of gets, you know, thrown at me, not from only family, but like some friends and stuff like that, is what are you gonna do like after high school? You know, what are you gonna do? What's that first step you're gonna take? And yeah, like for me, that's been for me, maybe I want to say like maybe a year ago, I was really questioning like, dang, like what am I gonna do? Like what am I gonna do? But I think recently I've allowed myself to not ignore it, but let go and let God in a sense, you know. And I've just allowed Him to steer me in the path that He wants me to go in. And I've gotten a little sense of what that looks like recently. But yeah, I would definitely say pressure as far as like, you know, what my plan looks like after I graduate and stuff.
That's huge. That's huge. I think we have this idea of what like an external pressure is, and if maybe how one person kind of touched on that, like maybe someone out there doesn't know what that is, and maybe you're listening to this and you're like, yo, like I don't know those external pressures, or you may feel them but you can't really define it, or you're not really able to point out who that external pressure is coming from. What would kind of be something you guys would say? Maybe a definition, and then maybe something they should be aware of with that external pressure. If someone wants to touch on that.
I would say, well, for me personally, I feel like external pressure can come from like your peers. So like for me, for example, like being a wife and a mom, I feel like there's kind of like a mold or an idea of like what you should be doing or how you should be teaching your children or how you should be, operating your home. And there's a lot of pressure in that because it's like, okay, what I'm doing wrong, or should I be doing it that way? Is that way better? Yeah. And I feel like for me, I've kind of learned what works best for me, and what works best for my family, what works best for my kids, for my husband, and just really understanding like society's not creating that mold. It's like, what has God given me to operate in my family, in my own capacity as a wife and a mother, and just understanding like, okay, I can take the pressure from everybody else, but that pressure isn't the mold. Like, that's not what's right. There's other ways to be right about it, and understanding God's created me to be exactly who I need to be and do what I need to do for my family.
Yeah. I would even say too, like, especially because we're talking with youth, like, I can remember like the external pressure of like almost being like the perfect kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, or being the cool kid, or being, or having a certain type of clothes, or a certain type of shoes, or even like, I mean, you even get the pressure of like when you get your car, like cats are like, that's the kind of car you got, and you're like, fam, I'm 16, I'm not supposed to have an M3. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, my mom and dad
don't even roll up.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your parents barely got a Honda Accord, fam. Like, how you expect me to have that? Yeah. So it's like, I think as a student, like, I remember like those pressures, the pressures of just like having to have a certain status in order to be something, right? And I think even now as an adult, and even for the young adults, having to have a certain status online, it's like I have to fake it till I make it.
Right.
I have to perpetrate, like, it's like I have to be something that I'm not, and to impress people that I'm probably not even gonna worry about 10 years from now.
Right.
And so I would probably say a big external thing is just having to have that status that people will approve, when in all actuality, it's unnecessary, it's unhealthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because like you're not operating in who God called you to be. But I remember like being in high school, and like me and my dad got into this huge argument because he tried to play my life. Like, it was like my sophomore year in high school, and he was like, all right, I'm about to go school shopping. I said, all right, cool. And we go to Payless, and I was like, why are we here? Yeah. And if you guys don't know what Payless is,
so you gotta explain what Payless is.
Because a lot of Payless has gone out of business. So Payless was like the discount shoe store. Like, everybody would clown you as a guy. It was weird. Girls could wear Payless shoes and nobody would say anything. Guys wear shoes, like Payless shoes, you would get clowned. So there was these shoes that were called Pro Wings. And Pro Wings were like the bootleg version of whatever popular shoe it was. And you can completely tell they try to like copy it, right? And I said, Dad, I can't go to school like this. Like, do you want me to get in fights every day? Like,
you want me to get beat up?
And I was like, just give me a pair of Chucks. That's all I want. I was like, give me a Chucks, and I'm cool. He was like, nah, those are like $30. I was like, fam, these are $10 more than what you're giving me. Just spend the $10. I'll give you the $10. Yeah. And so my mom had to bail me out and give me some like regular Nikes or whatever. But like, I remember having that pressure. Like, who cares if I had a pair of Pro Wings on? But the reason why I cared was because I didn't want to have to be worried about getting bullied. I didn't want to have to worry about what people thought about me. I wanted to be that cool kid. And so I would definitely say like an external pressure is status.
Yeah.
I think it's big. I think that touches on even a deeper topic too, is I think many times we take these external pressures, and sometimes it may not even be there. And this idea of you feel that, and I think now it starts to become a birth of internal pressure. And that can be good or bad. Like, I know for myself, when it comes to internal pressure, and to really touch on that, because I know it's big, and we're gonna kind of switch over a little bit, and because we talk about external pressures, and we know that there's a lot of things they face socially, and we're gonna keep talking and having these conversations with you guys. So if you have any questions regarding any external pressure, like questions of how to face it, awareness, or things to get you through, like, our team is here for you, and you can always DM us on Instagram, as well as right now, if you just send a comment down below, someone on our team will reach out to you and just talk to you and help you with those questions. But really want to transition that thought, because I think it's very key, because many times we feel this idea of external pressure, and really I think sometimes it touches something deeper and internal inside of us. To begin, just kind of tell a little bit of my story is, I feel like for me growing up, kind of like yours in the sense you had to be this perfect child. And I don't think it was me being perfect, but I just knew internally I had such a success mindset of I have to make it out or I'm not gonna have nothing. Like I have this idea of like rags to riches, like I gotta chase the bag, I gotta get this because there was no thing. My mom ain't not paying for my school, you know, like no one's paying for my school. And so for me, my whole idea was once I make it to college and get the scholarship, I made it, like success. And I began to realize like this internal pressure over my life and how unhealthy it began to become because the success literally started eating me up from the inside out. And not just the success, but the desire to meet that internal pressure. And so for you guys, what are maybe some internal pressures that you may set for yourself that you feel like, man, like I had to really process through that season?
I think right now I'm in that season right now. I think right now it's a lot of like how you said, Rex, like like that mindset that you used to have. That's like me right now. Like, what do I want to do to make sure that there's a roof over my head? What do I want to do to make sure that there's food on the table? What am I doing right now to do that? And I would say even right now too, I put a lot of pressure on myself just to make sure that I'm taking the steps and I'm taking what's needed to be taking place in order to even start that. So right now I would say those are a lot of pressures for me and stuff. It's just making sure that I'm starting that right now. Sometimes recently sometimes too I just have to realize like it's okay to just relax. It's okay to just chill. It's okay to just chill sometimes. But yeah, I would say that would be for me.
I'd definitely say like I'm still like at my age I'm still learning how to just relax. Like like Deb will let you guys know, like literally she's like, yo, you've been running for like 2 months. Relax. And I'm like, I can't, because if I don't, like this is not gonna get done and I gotta have these meetings, I gotta And so like internally, like I literally like struggle with like just allowing God to rule in areas like, and it's like, man, was I prepared enough? Did I plan that out nice or whatever? And so I would definitely say like even at my age, like with you talking about it, it was like, our first year, I'll tell you guys this, like our first year of marriage, like we had our first argument was like us going to church early. I need to get there early so I can have the rest of my day. And she's like, why do we have to get up early? I get up at 5 o'clock every day. I want to be able to sleep in to go to the late service. I'm like, but all of our day is going to be gone. And then we did it. And she's like, fam, we have all day off. Chill out.
Rest is not a waste.
Right. Man, you better come on somebody. And so like, but not realizing that I need to honor a Sabbath. Like the Sabbath doesn't have to be a Sunday. It doesn't have to, it's like, it has to be a day. Mm-hmm. Like you have to honor that. Like you have to give yours, like if God rested this, we need to rest.
Yeah.
Like, and I think we forget that in our Western culture, Americanized like mindset is that we have to run, and the grind can literally grind you into the ground and put you into dust. And so I would definitely say like that's something that like even still like I gotta learn like how to just grab the e-brake and say nope, it's time to just chill. Like we're not gonna do anything. I'm gonna just nothing today. So yeah.
I remember in school an internal pressure, which actually caused me to be a lot more laxed, was in school. I was really good in school. Like school came easy to me. Like getting good grades came easy to me. And I remember getting really good grades and then my parents saying, see, if you just apply yourself, you can get these grades and blah, blah, blah. And I just remember thinking like, I worked so hard for those. I had like stressed myself out. I didn't want to work that hard anymore. So I was like, if I just keep myself at like a BC average, I could just coast. And it was like that mindset of like, that was too much pressure. I didn't want to have that pressure all the time, that I just kind of like almost gave up and became like mediocre when I knew I can do like, I just put in a little extra work and I got those great grades. But because it was like the internal pressure, like, no, you have to, study this. You have to, miss out on these things. You have to, it was like that internal pressure kind of got me to shut down and be like, I don't want it. So then I was like, I'm just gonna be average. And I think that was something that now I look back on and I'm like, if I would have just kept pushing, like if I wouldn't have succumbed to that internal pressure and just been like, this is a good pressure. Like I'm okay with this. Like, yeah, it sucks for a while, but because I'm allowing it, I'm getting better. It's like a personal thing. And so I think that was something that kind of ruined me in the beginning when I was a kid. Because I just was in my head too much.
Yeah.